Hey. Okay. All right. Hey. Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of the Good Days Only podcast. With me, your boy OP, and his number 23 today. 23. Got some exciting stuff. We got another special guest coming on here, and we also have some more bomb ass coffee for y'all to check out because all right, I'm a little bit caffeinated already, but I'm excited for this episode. So stay tuned. Thanks for rocking with your boy. Episode number 23. If you're new to the show, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. And yeah, so let's just get into this. Let's just get into this caffeine breakdown for the caffeine that we got here today. All right. And here we are in the caffeine breakdown. And for episode 23, what we got right here, we got some, we're sipping on some that's making us feel like we are in paradise, dude. Like we're in vacation mode, dude, if you will. Number one, the coffee name and the roaster. Let's break down the roaster first because we got from the islands of Hawaii, Kauai Coffee Roasters, hitting us with some sweet caffeine. A delightful cup of joe in this episode right here, dog. Shout out to Billy the Kid Bryan for the pickup from the islands of Hawaii and bringing that over to the mainland. I know that might have been, a little bit sketchy on the airplane, bringing it over. I don't know, sometimes. One time I got stopped because I had my laptop and it showed up on their screen. It just showed up like as a big brick on the screen when they were going through the doing that, like the x-ray stuff. Anyways, thank you Bill for this great gift here of the caffeine. Traveled a great distance over the great Pacific Ocean to make sure this coffee got here for us, to share this moment right here. Let me take a little sip. Kauai Coffee Roasters. First off, let me tell you, when you log into their website, KauaiCoffee.com, and that's KAUAI coffee.com. They have an awesome website layout here. You first click on the screen and there's like a big picture of the island, and you're already in paradise. You're already on vacation right when you click it from the jump. And so that's awesome. But let's read a little bit here about their story. Their story here as it goes. Taste paradise one cup at a time. Kauai coffee began in the early 1800s. Now get this little twist of events. Originally, it was McBride Sugar Company, one of the first sugar farmers in Hawaii. Hawaii or Hawaii? I don't know. I hear people say that, but then I don't want to just be too trying too hard. I don't know. Hawaii. I'm gonna call it Hawaii. The transformation from McBride Sugar Company to Kauai Coffee took place in 1987. And that represents Hawaii's largest diversified agricultural project in the past 50 years, is what they say here. The Kauai Coffee venture experienced a severe setback in 1992 when Hurricane Iniki, inflicted $8.5 million in damages to the coffee crop. Damn, son. That's a little setback, but that's all right. We're going to shrug it off the shoulders and let it, just ride it out. Is what they said. The future of Kauai coffee and all of Kauai looked bleak. Fortunately, both made a comeback. That's what I'm talking about. And in 1996, Kauai coffee's harvest exceeded the volume of coffee produced by the entire Kona region. Oh, dude. I was going to say Kona coffee. I've had Kona coffee too. But that sounds like maybe we got a little rivalry right here, dude. Kona, Kauai. A rich history here, though. the roast masters for Kauai coffee roasters, Mike Shimatsu and Tadashi Muratake. Together, they have some great experience in the coffee roasting realm. These dudes look like, dude, I'm on the website right now, and they look straight up like they will kick your ass, dude. Like, don't mess with their coffee beans because they're just like bouncers at the door right here. The gates of the caffeine making world. Mike Shimatsu, been with the company since 1990, so been around for a little bit, for a hot sec. All right. He's the manager of roasting operations and institutional equipment. And as certified licensed Q Arabica grader. Interesting. So people, I guess that makes sense. People got to like quality control, right? Like get certified to be able to say like, oh, this is a legit bean and this is like as good as it gets. Interesting. Never really thought of that. Anyways, very, very talented. His expertise focus on roasting, cupping, and quality assurance. Quality assurance. Yeah, look at that. Maybe I should read a little bit further before I start talking. But that's sick. Way to go. Thank you, Mike. And then his counterpart, Tadashi. Dude, these guys I can't get over. They're just so jacked. And they're just like standing here. Yeah, come get this coffee. Come get this coffee. Worked for Kauai Coffee since 2008. Okay, a little bit newer on the team, but he works on a lot of the equipment, maintenance shop. Hey, thanks Tadashi, making sure the nuts and bolts are taken care of. Now associate roast manager or roast master. See, they do use the words roast master. Got it. That's cool. I thought that was just me using those words, but I guess not. I guess they are. They should be. They should be roast masters. That's the names. Okay. So they even go. So this website, I'm telling you, dude, check out this website because it's sick. KawaiiCoffee.com. They have like, you could do coffee tastings. You can read about the history. You can order obviously online. But they have this cool little like slideshow that I'm looking at that goes over the entire process of coffee production from the blossom, like the coffee trees blossoming and with their little flowers on there. Looks pretty cute. Goes into the harvesting and shows Kauai's harvesting period runs from mid-October through early December. Harvesting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Damn, son. No days off. No days off in the caffeine world. Just eat a couple of them beans. Harvesting, the wet processing that they do, the pulping, the drying, and dude, it just lays out little snippets of everything. The milling, and then sorting. Shoot, it keeps going. The grading. Oh, geez, there's a lot of steps in this. And then the shipping. Look at that, and it gets to us. Awesome. Yeah, I encourage you, if you have not checked out their website, check it out. It's really cool, and gives you a little more insight into stuff. Pick up a couple pointers there. But today, what are we actually sipping on here? We got the one and only Kauai Coffee Single Origin Estate Grown. Let's go. Coconut Caramel Crunch. And let me tell you, I've tried this in the past. Like I said, dude, this right here though, for those of you that might not like, just like a black coffee, like with a heavy coffee taste, and like maybe you maybe like to sweeten things up a bit. I know people put sugar in their coffee. People put a couple pumps of that. What's it called? The like the creamer and like the different ways to sweeten up your caffeine. But instead of doing that or adding all the sugar to your coffee, you might want to try this out because it also says it on the bag right here. Contains natural flavors, but this does not taste like your run-of-the-mill typical just like a black coffee. Like that's what I'm sipping on right here. But it tastes delicioso. Dude, I'm just saying. I feel like I'm on an island right now. That coconut, the caramel, the sweet undertones of this. A very smooth sip right here. Also, out of 113 reviews left online, let me tell you, 111 of those were 5 out of 5, 5 stars, top 5. It's too easy. Okay, there were two of them. One of them was a 4-star review. I couldn't find it while I was scrolling. There was two. It was too crowded with all the other 5 out of 5s. People just talking about how much they love this coffee and how it's changed their lives or whatever. Delicious, smooth. Love this stuff any time of the day, and that's true. Making iced coffee. Look at this. This is such a unique flavor coffee. Find ourselves craving it daily. Shoot, favorite coffee ever. Unique gift, best, hands down. Shoot. Yeah, I don't know. I agree. I like this a lot. One sip of the coconut caramel crunch ground coffee, and you're instantly transported to paradise. Look at this. That's what I'm saying. This popular blend is made from 100% premium ground Hawaiian coffee, featuring a smooth, delicious flavor and amazing aroma. That, dude, hands down. With all natural flavoring, the combination of sweet, nutty caramel, tropical coconut, and our medium roasted beans makes this delectable coffee the perfect cup for any occasion. And the aromas, the aromas are very nice on this. Fun fact, Kauai Coffee, largest coffee grower in Hawaii, the Hawaiian Islands, and largest coffee grower in the United States of America. Actually, I had to Google this one and do a little cross-reference, cross-check, and it does say Hawaii, produces the most in the U.S., which I guess makes sense. The temperatures and the soil out there must be pretty nice. All the volcanoes. But let's see, what did they go on to say here? We have just about 4 million coffee trees grown on 3,100 acres. 4 million coffee trees. That's insane. That's a lot of trees. Dang, that's cool. Coffee harvesting in Hawaii occurs all year round, although the highest production between late summer and early spring. In 2008, 2009, 8.6 million pounds of coffee. What? 8.6 million pounds of coffee were harvested in Hawaii. Dang, that's cool. You could take tours around the Kauai estate. It looks like they have they have signs everywhere that tell you which ones are the beans, which one are the. It looks like it's a complimentary tour if you visit the coffee estate, which is cool. And you can also have, that's as fresh as it gets if you have some coffee right there, dude. They do different coffee tastings. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, check out their website. See if you're taking a trip out to the islands. I recommend stopping by here. That's cool. I have not been, but it looks freaking awesome. So this roast type, we already talked about it a little bit. Medium roast, and very solid, very smooth on the palate. Maybe a light to medium acidity. Not even. Let me get a little sip and see what's good. It's just that hint of sweetness that you can tell with like the coconut in there, that it doesn't, it kind of, it cuts any of that real acidity out. I don't know if I even really get any acidity with this. So this is another reason that, for those of you that are trying to get into the coffee or just don't know where to start because it's too harsh, maybe just drinking it black like this. This is a solid way to go. Wow. So this bag though, it came pre-ground. So we hit it with the pour over and the drip Keurig machine. And the aromas on this, again, this smells bomb. It smells like you want to just like scoop some out and just eat it out the bag. Like when you get like a candle, you had a candle that smells really good and you kind of wish it was edible, but it's not, obviously, or like a bar of soap. And you're like, damn, that smells really good. Or like it makes you hungry. When things that aren't supposed to be edible make you hungry because they smell so good. Like that's this. But you could eat it. Probably wouldn't taste that good, but it smells hella good. So for the pour over, the drip, the pour over, you guys know I'm biased. I love the pour over on this, and it makes the whole place, wherever you're pouring this out, it makes the whole place just smell amazing. So definitely recommend the pour over for this. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. And the appearance and packaging. Let's round this off here. As we got our special guest is almost in the building here, but this appearance and packaging, I love the time that they put in this. They got a bunch of pictures of the estate and where the coffee trees are. They got some pictures of the island, Kauai. They even got mastering the art of Kauai brew. We recommend the recommendation. The pretty standard 2 tablespoons for every 6 ounces of fresh water, and but they let you know where these beans come from. 100% Hawaiian, premium Arabica coffee. Flavored coffees contain natural flavors. Again, so they probably put some little, I'm guessing just like some coconut extract or something. I don't know how they did it, but they hit this one on the nail on the head. On the front of the bag here, we got a little coffee cup with a little steam coming off the coffee, dude. And we got a little apparition of sorts here, a hula dancer on the front, kind of pictured, in the steam coming off of the nice hot cup of joe. This reminds me, you ever been to a luau? Dude, if you ever been to a luau, that shit gets live. It's a party. That is, it was probably one of the best experiences. I went to Hawaii. We went to Oahu a couple of years ago. And, we went to this luau. There was just bomb-ass food, the music. Like, people were all just in a good mood. Everybody's there to have a good time. And it was awesome. It was awesome. The luau season. Are there luau seasons? Oh, I don't know. Maybe. It probably goes year-round. I don't know. But it's just a party. It was good ass food, good drinks, good company, and it was a good time. But on the bag here, let's see, aloha. The smooth and pleasing flavor of this coffee is created for you by the delicate balance of nature found on the island of Kauai. Some call the island paradise. We simply call it home. From the Kaloa estate on Hawaii's Kauai Island, this single origin coffee is grown in rich volcanic soil, dude, touched by abundant mountain rain. That's what I'm saying. See? I knew the volcanoes would have something to do with this. Warmed by the Pacific Ocean and cooled by the gentle Hawaiian trade winds. Yeah, dude, that's like an ideal coffee growing spot, dude. That's cool. You got everything you need. Thank you so much, Kauai, for producing this coffee. This is bomb. This is delicious. Will I be circling back to this? Definitely circling back to this coffee roasting team. And I want to try some of their other specialty coffees that they got on their website that they look very, very tasty. But, dude, this is a solid-ass coffee. And it's doing the job, obviously. I'm just rambling on and on. But let me stop my rambling here. And let's prepare for our special guest today. And I have been looking forward to this conversation for a really long time. We've been trying to get this in the books, so excited that it's finally happening. And let's move on to that section now. All right, and we're here with our special guest today, the young man, the swollest of the swole, Cole Jacobson. How we doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, dude. Man. Thanks for having me on the podcast, yeah. Finally.
I know, I'm excited because we've been talking about doing this forever. And I'm glad that we were able to finally line things up. And thank you for taking the trip out here, dude. Looking yoked as ever. Have you still been like working out at the same intensity as you were before? For those of you that don't know, sorry to cut you off. For those of you that don't know, Swole Jacobson, Cole Jacobson, great friend of mine, little bro. We go way back, and he recently completed his first ever. Was it a pro circuit or amateur? Right,
amateur, 100% amateur.
First ever amateur physique bodybuilding competition. Took home the silver or gold.
Second in my novice, third in my open.
Hey, for the first time, dude, you kicked ass. You were fucking jacked. You looked great. And I think those judges might have had a little extra money in their pocket from some other teams, but so yeah, that was awesome. Just watching you like go up and compete? Because I know you put in a lot of hard work to get to that point. But have you still been like keeping up on that? Because you filled out a little bit more now. You're just like,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the reverse dieting and the bounce back program has just been, it's been going super well for me so far. I feel like, you know, I've been able to eat more and just enjoy my life. And so I'm training as intensely, but also, you know, cutting myself some slack on the diet and stuff and letting my body just kind of reacclimate properly. Mm-hmm. It's the hardest part about doing a show is like you get so out of whack, both like hormonally and just like your body's not meant to be that lean. So during peak week, you end up getting to the state where like your body's kind of in survival mode. And so it's easy sometimes in that reverse dieting phase to, like, some people put on 25 or 30 pounds.
Damn.
So I've had to like really keep stuff under control.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, like still keeping the training high and just really enjoying it too. I felt like towards the end of the show, I was telling a lot of you guys, like, I didn't know how much I was enjoying the actual gym part of it anymore.
Yeah.
So like long workouts, low energy, but yeah, no, it feels good to be back.
Back to just not having to be on such a strict, but like, there's something to be said about that. Because how long was the like the whole process, like from beginning to end? What was the?
We're in about a 16-week prep.
16 weeks. So what? 4 months?
Yeah.
4 months ish.
Yeah. And to be fair, like the first part of the prep, like the earlier part of the 16 weeks, because the whole process is, we're cutting down the body. We're trying to keep muscle mass on, but we're going to slowly deplete over a long period of time so that, you know, you can be as shredded on stage as possible. So at the very beginning, we're loading for quite a few weeks, which means like we're just getting a ton of calories in. My carbs were higher than they had ever been. We were just trying to fill out so that, I mean, my coach he knew, looking at pictures from me before, he's like, you're going to have no problem getting super shredded, but like, let's make sure we put on enough size so that, you know, you can stand up there with the guys you're going to be competing against.
Yeah. Who's your coach again?
Keenan Polanco.
Keenan Polanco. Yeah. What's his on Instagram, on social media?
At Physique Freak.
At Physique Freak. Shout out to the boy, Keenan. Yeah, Physique Freak, because your guys' dynamic, your team, like, you could tell that like he was there to support you, and like you were there just soaking everything in like a sponge, because he's also competing, right? He's fucking jacked too. Oh my god, this is,
and he's going after his pro card too. But huge shout out to Keenan. He's my boy. He's awesome. He's working on a new gig right now with Lululemon as a software engineer.
Oh shit.
And so
he got brains as well.
Yeah, huh? he's gonna crush it. I'm excited to see him at next year's Emerald Cup. But yeah, he was great. It's awesome to be coached by someone that's also just a good friend. Yeah. So it made it easier I know that the 2 or 3 weeks leading up to the show, I started really getting into my head, and just like having him there as a resource to calm me down and remind me, you know, this is all part of the process. Just stay relaxed. Trust what I'm telling you, because the body dysmorphia goes to 1,000 when you get in those last 3 weeks.
Damn, yeah, and especially like having that insight from somebody that's been through it before, right? Because he's been competing for a little bit.
Yeah, he's crushed the amateur scene just across the Pacific Northwest. He's won multiple shows in Washington and Idaho and Montana. And so, you know, he's really trying to grind to get to, like, he'd love to get his pro card, and I think he definitely has what it takes.
Yeah, so. Hell yeah, and rep for the PNW. That'd be sick.
Sure.
Well, shout out again. Dude, on that note, let's take a little sip right here. And what we sipping on here? So we sipping on this Kauai coffee. What do you think about this?
It's super good. We were kind of talking about this before we started recording, but you know, there's this sweetness that comes out of just the smell and the aroma that it's kind of interesting, because most coffees, I feel like they don't really have that. But it tastes super good. It's really smooth.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying. It's like it tastes almost like you added something to it, but you didn't add anything. Like, this is like you saw me pour it. Yeah. It's just a straight up the ground coffee beans, and then it comes out like this. Like, it tastes like you put like some
creamer in it,
or something, right?
For sure.
But you didn't have to do that, and it's got all natural flavors, dude. Kauai coffee. You ever been to Hawaii?
No, so that's on our list right now. Harriet's been to Hawaii multiple times with her family, and I always tell her, like, my family always did Mexico instead of Hawaii.
It's Mexico, dog.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Come on. You just gotta practice, that's all.
But yeah, I really want to go to Hawaii so many people I know have been there and just they rave about it. So we got to get over there sometime. The problem is it's such a like. For me personally, I just feel like it's so much more expensive than going to Mexico.
Yeah.
And so I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I've always thought, let's just go to Cabo. Part of it is my parents have a timeshare there. So it's like, I'm always like, let's just do that. But yeah, I need to go see Hawaii. I've heard it's a beautiful place and there's so many things to do.
Yeah. We went to, Oahu. I think that's where Waikiki is. You know your geography around the Hawaiian Islands? Not really?
I only know that I know there's Maui.
Okay. Maui, the Maui Wowie. No, yeah, I think we went to Oahu because that's where Waikiki is. No, is that it? Yeah, it must be. I don't know. Anyways, went there. Awesome time. The beaches, it's like exactly like what you see in movies and like just the palm trees, the paradise. Although like I'm sure with recently... I've seen a lot of articles with like people, like locals getting really upset or like, yeah, and rightfully so. Like all these tourists that just fucking flood in after like a year of not being able to go on vacation or not being able to travel anywhere. So there's just like max capacity places, and then people are still like, understaffed, due to COVID. People had to like lay people off. And so it's just like kind of hectic. I feel like it seems. So maybe wait it out a little bit if you're planning on going to Hawaii. But
is the poke all the hype there?
Dude, poke is the fucking bomb. Yes, poke is good anywhere. But it's also just something about being on the island, Like when you're on an island, you're just like on vacation. When you're on vacation, number one.
Everything's you're just
like, you're just like, I don't gotta do shit I don't want to do. So you can just eat poke or not and still have a good time. But the poke we had there, it was bomb. We had it several times. But one time, it was actually so hot out. We got it. It was like an outdoor like food truck thing situation. And we got poke. And Zoe and I were walking back. It was probably like a half mile that we walked. And it was like 80 degrees. And so there's just raw fish in our bowl that was like supposed to be eaten, consumed like while it was still like kind of cool. And it was like kind of warm by the time we got back to the beach. And I was like, ooh, this is sketchy. I don't know if we should eat this. But it was still bomb. All the flavors were there. And you're getting it like pretty like right from the source. Like it's not like if you're in Minnesota and you're getting some fucking poke.
You're like,
right?
You're questioning where this came from.
Yeah, you're like, how long did it take for this fish to get here? So it's really cool. I want to go visit these coffee plantations, but dude, so coffee, talking about caffeine, we're talking about caffeine intake because obviously for the 4 months that you were on this prep, you were fucking like probably on a shit ton of caffeine. I'm guessing like between like the pre-workout and just like trying to stay up and like go to work and like work all day and then working out like 2-4 hours a day.
Well, and you'll learn a lot. Like caffeine is, it's a really crazy stimulant that helps suppress appetite. So it's often abused a lot in the bodybuilding scene, just because it helps kill cravings and keeps you going. And, my caffeine intake during prep was my caffeine intake. Anyone that knows me already knows it's through the roof. Yeah. It's like dangerously high probably. But it was even more so during prep, just because I felt like like you're saying, like my energy levels were getting so low. My mental focus was all over the place because all you're thinking about is food all the time. And then so like I'm drinking coffee in the mornings, or I would drink coffee right when I got home from the gym in the morning after I had like a scoop and a half of pre-workout. Ooh. So it was like there was a point where you're wondering like, dude, am I even going to feel any of the like stimulant purposes of the caffeine? But no, I mean, it has to be I don't know exact like milligrams, but it was a lot of caffeine.
Well, I mean, if you think about like one scoop of pre-workout, like on average is over like 100, at least 150, like milligrams of caffeine per like a serving, right? And so if you're doing that and you do like 2 scoops, maybe some days you're like, oh, I'm a little extra tired. Cause I remember like when we were still in school and we were just like working out for 2.5 hours a day, like at the rec, we would just like dome 2 scoops of like freaking Mr. Hyde, which was like 300 milligrams of caffeine in 1 scoop or whatever. That shit's insane. Well, dude, all I'm saying is if you need a little caffeine, why not do the coffee? Because I know you still drink the You still drink the Monsters. Are you still on the Monsters, or are you on
dude,
the
I mean,
Bangs
I'm
now?
kind of like just
Any,
I can't really do bangs, but yeah, I would say energy drinks are like my one thing that in the next 5 years I need to figure out how to kick that, but I don't know if it's possible. I freaking love like the Zero Monsters, and the Ghost now has energy drinks,
Yeah.
like the Sour Patch Kids energy drinks.
what is it about that you think that makes you just want? Is it like this, like just the
It's
flavor,
it's
or
the
like
sweet, and like I don't know what it is, but I used to be such a growing up as a kid. I drank way too much soda, and as I got older, and especially like once I got into lifting and stuff, I knew I couldn't drink Mountain Dew anymore. Like I used to drink like a cube of Mountain Dew, like playing video games. It was horrible, and like I always think about how nasty it was. And if I drink one now, it's like sugar water. I feel like I have one can, and my shirt has shrank 3 sizes.
Was this like your Slipknot phase? Was this the Slipknot days?
Yeah,
of cold
but it
drinking
was
stuff?
before that too. The Slipknot phase. I was drinking like the green Monsters, which are like arguably there's nothing worse for you. Those things are like they've got to be like 600 calories. Like the big one with the screw on cap.
resealable,
Yeah.
just the black, the OG.
Yeah. But no, like I think I always used to drink soda so much, and I like carbonated beverages, and then also it's just. Like for me, because I'm not big into eating desserts or candy or anything like that, it kind of like satisfies that sweetness for me.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like there are times where I'm like, I'm not even drinking this much water during the day. I'm drinking like 2 energy drinks, and I'm not having any water during the day. So it's
the
just like
dangerous part, dude. Even sometimes with just like coffee, I'll get to, because it was actually for a while. Now I kind of cycle. So like I'll do like a week while I'm like tasting the coffee that I'm prepping or whatever. I'll do like that week I'll drink the coffee, but then that following week, like after this is posted, I'll just like not drink coffee or like try to at least. But then sometimes, you cave, whatever. But at some points I'm like, oh shit, I drank like 32 ounces of coffee and like 0 water. And then you're just like super dehydrated and super thirsty. But I think, this would be a good way to do it, dude. Just start, because like if you're getting, and I get it, like the caffeine intake, and it's easier to drink in like a sweet beverage that's carbonated too. But you could just switch to some caffeine, dude. Have a nice cold brew. At least then it's just like just a coffee bean,
Exactly.
and not a bunch of other shit.
not
that's
all
like
all the
sugar and like.
I don't need like 7,000 milligrams of vitamin B12. I agree. I'm trying to figure out how to do it. It's definitely. I think that this is kind of like a funny point to bring up on this podcast, but I think like caffeine is a huge like addiction for a lot of people that we just like ignore it because it's socially, like I always talk about this with alcohol too, like there's so many people that are probably like low key addicted to drinking, but because it's served at a bar or we can like drive to the store and buy it, it's not, it's seen as more socially acceptable than being addicted to like a hard drug or something. Yeah. But I think caffeine's the same way. Like if I try and take a break from caffeine, like my body just like wants to go back to like having an energy drink or something, or like it becomes like a psychological thing with like pre-workout too. Like you go to the gym and you try not to take pre-workout for 3 days and you're like, oh, this workout's horrible. And it's like,
so
no, it's
small.
Yeah, it's like, no, it has nothing to do with that. It's just like our brain becomes like dependent on the effect that stimulant's having on us.
For sure.
So for me, it's like I'm trying to figure out how to help. Like one thing I've been trying to do in the mornings, because I realized with coffee, what I enjoy is like we were talking about this earlier, but the smell, like it helps you kind of feel like you're getting your day going. Yeah. And then I just like in the morning, I like to have like something warm to drink. So I've been trying to do decaf coffee in the mornings, or maybe like 1 or 2 cups of decaf coffee during the day, just because like I still feel like I'm getting that satisfaction of the warm beverage,
right?
But I'm not, pushing my caffeine number through the roof if I'm going to have pre-workout or I'm going to have an energy drink that day. But the problem with decaf is like there's not as many fun options like this coffee we're drinking right now. I don't know if there's a decaf version, right? And I don't know. You can definitely inform me, but I don't know if decaf, like the flavor changes from decaf to caffeinated.
No, so it's actually the flavors typically decaf. So decaf is like there's still caffeine in it, but it's like such a small percentage. I want to say it's like 0.7 milligrams of caffeine, or 0.07 or something like that, something ridiculous, like a very small trace amount of caffeine in the coffee. But and I just noticed from like looking around online that the flavors and like the aromas and everything like would still stay the same for whatever they're targeting, right? Whatever the coffee roaster's targeting. But the big difference is just like the amount of caffeine. And like you said, a lot of people that are either really sensitive to caffeine or just like you don't want to drink a caffeinated beverage, but just like the satisfaction of like, oh, I'm having this warm coffee, you know, it smells good. Like, is there something just comforting about it? So the decaf option is a great option. And it could also accustom your palate a little bit to just drinking that warm beverage with, you know, the different like acidity or the body on the coffee. But this one is definitely not decaf. I don't know if they have a decaf option online, but I don't know. I feel pretty caffeinated from this.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, you get it's weird because I don't know. It's something about this being like a natural source of caffeine where like when you're drinking, sometimes I'll drink an energy drink and I'm like, there's so much other crap in this that like you maybe get the spike of energy for like 30 minutes and then that's why like you crash afterwards because there's so much other nonsense in the can.
Yeah.
Where like with this coffee, it's just like it's actually a natural source. So like I feel more caffeinated off of this than the pre-workout that I take.
Dude, I do drink sometimes like on long road trips. If it's like an afternoon, like driving out after work or something, I will like drink a Red Bull just to like keep me going. But you also, it's like I don't feel the caffeine come on like you do with coffee. Like when you're drinking it, all of a sudden like, I don't know, you just like start feeling like, oh shit, I'm alert. Yeah. Oh, my mind's racing. Or like you start getting like hot and like sweaty. Everybody does it. It's okay. Everybody gets a little bit sweaty. But yeah, and then you're just like, oh shit, like this is too much. Like you have too much caffeine or too much coffee too fast rather. But okay, wait, let's circle back. We got off on a little tangent, but I wanted to circle back to your prep and like what was because I know it's been several years we've been talking about it, and I know you've always been interested since I've known you, like in competitions and like bodybuilding and stuff. What or like the physique competitions at least. What was the deciding factor, or like how did you come to finally be like, dude, this is the year, this is what I'm gonna do, like this is what. Was there like just a moment where you just like woke up and you were like, fucking today's the day, I'm gonna like sign up and like look somewhere? Or were you just like in conversations? Like, well, how did that go down?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. For me, I mean, it was one of those things where, and I feel like people do this in life in general, but just like I kept putting it off. It's it's that thing you know that you want to do, but you keep telling yourself all the reasons why you can't do it. And especially with bodybuilding and the state of today's fitness industry, like I always felt like I had to be bigger, and I always felt like oh, I got to gain this much mass, I got to get this big before I can ever consider doing a show because I'm never going to be able to compete with people, they're on stage. And I realized one thing, which I've told many people this, like sometimes that's the downside of social media. And like when I'm all the people I follow that compete in men's physique, they're all pros. So like all you're seeing is like the elite echelon of who's competing in bodybuilding. And you have to remember, like, that's not what it's going to be like when you go to an amateur show. And I think that's a good lesson for anybody like listening to this podcast about something they want to do, is like, just think about doing your best. Think about, what you can bring to that, and don't be so focused on like what's already out there. Cause I think for me, I was only focused on like the end result of like, oh, would I ever be able to win a pro show or do anything like that? But for me, I had to realize, like, let's just focus on doing my first show, going through a prep, seeing if I'm going to enjoy it. And so, yeah, it kind of was one of those decisions. I asked myself, like, what's stopping me other than my mind? And luckily, like, Keenan and I had been working out at Ironworks and just seeing each other over and over again. And we'd been talking about it for like a year and a half or 2 years. And he was always like, when are you going to do this, man? I know you can do it. And so, I just started looking at shows locally. I didn't think I wanted to do the Emerald Cup, which is one of the bigger shows in Washington. It's like right in our backyard in Bellevue, just because I know that that's a pro qualifier. And I thought the competition was going to be a little more intense. So it's funny because I signed up for the Tanji Classic, and I was really surprised to find out how big the bodybuilding competition and just the scene out here is in general. It was kind of shocking, but it was also really cool just to see that. Because, Keenan and I talked about this, like, you don't necessarily want to just do a show where you go up there and you get first overall because the competition sucks. Like, sometimes it's better to go. For me, it was better to go up there and compete against some guys that were a lot bigger, that had been doing this for longer, just because it teaches you that, like, there's so much farther to go, but also you'd rather lose to people that are at their best, like that have been doing this for years, than like just go clean up a bunch of guys who have never done this before that look like crap. Right. And so it was a good learning moment for me, and a good experience altogether. And yeah, it was just, and really the most important thing, which I told a lot of you guys at the party afterwards, was, I felt like I won that show before it even happened. Just seeing how many of my friends, like you guys being there, just my family, Harriet's mom and brother, like that was the most important thing to me. So, the trophy and the placing, it was awesome. But just to have like a full support there, like I 100% had the loudest crowd there, which is like, dude, that's where you win. Like having people, and it's been cool, just like, not to shift over from my bodybuilding, but like your podcast here and like Rose's business with her earrings, and just like, I know Zoe's been posting more stuff on her. What is she, what's her other Instagram?
At Zesty Zoe B.
That, yeah.
Her recipes, not recipes. It's just food, picture food. Yeah,
well,
food,
and just like, it's so awesome to see other, like our close friend group from college, like start to really develop these like passion projects and things outside of, just their normal day to day, and like just to see everyone in our friend group fully dive in and like support each other. That's been like the coolest thing. Yeah. Like, and that's because like, I think when you're in college and you're younger, it's easy to get insecure about other people having success and doing things that, like that interest them. But to have like everybody just be there to support me on that day, like, it made me realize like, I want to go be on Octo's podcast. Like, I want to make sure that like when everybody else has things going on, like when Tyler planned that awesome surprise party for Rose, it's like, I want to be there for all these people because they literally took a day out of their life to come watch me, like a day that was literally all about me. And just like to have that support, that was the best part of the whole thing.
Yeah, dude, it was fucking awesome. I'm glad that we were able to make it out there. I'm glad that you everybody showed out for you. The shirts were sick, dude. I still have that. I'm just going to start rocking that around randomly. People are going to be like, it looks a little bit kind of like, I didn't tell Harriet this. I might have told Harriet this. It looks a little bit like, those RIP shirts that people get.
Yeah,
like
no.
Did you say that?
I didn't, but like, I definitely get what you're...
Dude, oh my gosh, I know. But, no, it's an awesome shirt. Shout out Harriet for the shirts. But, I agree 100% with what you're saying. It's just like, having that circle around you, right? And like building each other up is awesome. I'm glad that we were able to be there for you, and like you felt like you were supported, because you were supported, dude. We fucking, when you went on the stage, like all I heard was like, yeah, Cole, like, oh, Cole. And you were just up there fucking cheesing, dude, just smiling. That's probably the biggest smile I've ever seen on your face, dude. That was cool. That was really, really cool. So yeah, thank you for saying that. That's awesome. Did you get a chance to like, how was like the backstage? Like, was it like people were just cold shouldering each other, or was it like pretty like a camaraderie of like, dude, you're fucking jacked? Like, like how was that scene? Because I feel like it could get a little bit chippy maybe in the back, because everybody's competition, mindset. Like, I'm here to win.
Yeah, no, it was, that was one of the most surprising parts of the whole process for me. When I got there, I think everybody was like, I was telling my parents this the other week, but like even the day before the show, so you have to go and you do your athlete check-in, and that's the first time you see everyone that you're competing against. And the thing is, like, everybody has, like, we all just got our spray tans, like everybody's like wearing a hoodie because you're so cold, because you're so lean. And you don't know what division people are competing in. It's like, just imagine a bunch of dudes that go to the gym just like sizing each other up, and then you're trying to like listen to this person tell you what you're going to do on stage, and you're just looking around and you start like really getting in your own head. I literally that day went like into my car and had like a mental breakdown. I called my mom and I was just like talking to her about it, and she basically told me like, don't forget all the hard work that you put in, and like the people that are coming to support you, they're there for you. It doesn't matter what happens like on that stage. And so when you do actually get backstage the day of the show, I think you realize everyone's feeling that. Yeah. And so, I mean, you could hear a pin drop in that back room. Everybody's just like sitting there. Ooh. You end up like, this is kind of just a sidebar, but like you end up, everyone's laying on their back with their feet flat on the floor and their knees up, because you find out, my coach told me, like, you want to get the blood flowing through your kidneys. A lot of people, if they stand up, because like you want to stand up and walk around because you're so nervous, but then all the blood goes into your legs, which you can't have in a men's physique show. Like, you need all the blood in your upper body so you have a pump when you go out there. So Keenan kept telling me, like, just lay down, chill out. A lot of people have their headphones in, nobody's talking. It just feels really tense.
Ooh,
and then
dang.
So like, for people that don't know, like how it works at a bodybuilding show is there's pre-judging and then there's finals. So pre-judging, you're going to go out there against everyone in your class and you pose down. And then that's when they really make their decision in pre-judging. And then in finals, which you guys saw, that's when I walked back out on stage by myself, did my individual posing routine, and then walked off. They already know who won that division. It's just more your moment to kind of show off your package individually. Mm-hmm. Well, right after prejudging, when you go backstage, I think like it's kind of crazy. It's hard to explain, but just like everybody's so much more relaxed and like people are so friendly. And I think because like once you get over that first hump of like going out there
on the stage, just getting
and
on
like everyone has this like adrenaline spike and your mind's racing, but you get off stage and like everyone was so friendly and so awesome. And I always say it's kind of ironic because I think a lot of people would go to an event like that and think it's a bunch of alpha males that like are just there to like, they're all self-involved and nobody wants to talk to anybody, but it couldn't have been more opposite. Like I met a bunch of really great guys, super nice people. Mm-hmm. Like it's funny because like backstage we're all like eating rice cakes and candy and trying to like carb up and get pumped up, and everybody's just like passing their food around. They're like, "Oh, dude, do you need another rice cake?"
Dude, and so it's snack time.
Yeah, and so it's funny because it goes like it's just night and day. Like before that prejudging, and then afterwards, and then and then that's where you kind of like, I think you start to accept that because you've seen your competition next to you. You kind of start to accept like, hey, I just went out there, I did my best. These last 16 weeks that I put in, like that's the crazy part. It's all for like the 2 minutes on stage, like 16 weeks for maybe 2 minutes max. And so once you kind of get through that, you realize like, hey, I brought my best and like, I'm happy with it. And you kind of start to accept, and some people like that are competing for a pro card, I'm sure they're not able to see it like that. Yeah. But for me, it was like, okay, I brought my best. I heard like my family and friends out there that are like, my circle is out there like cheering for me. And that's good enough for me. Like whatever happens, whatever trophy they hand me or medal I get is like neither here nor there afterwards. Cause like, I already know that I brought my best and I'm just happy with the people that are there to support me.
Yeah, dude, you did your fucking best. Dude. And it's also, a lot of people give, they'll just say like, oh, like you see a bodybuilding competition, you see people like the pictures and they're just like, these meatheads, these big old fucking, like you said, like these alpha male like jerks, and so they just like kind of write it off. But the insane amount of like dedication and preparation and actually like just fucking grinding day in, day out to meet this like certain goal that you set for yourself. Like there's something that's not everybody can do that. And that's another reason people like hate on it too. It's like, cause people, it's like, man, I want to start my, my running journey or my weight loss journey or whatever it might be. But then they feel like, one day goes into another. And then you just like end up putting it on the back burner, and so they see these pictures and it's easy to just judge because you're like, oh, this guy, like, oh, genetics or whatever. And like, they're just huge, or they blame it on the steroids, right? Well, like, or on any sort of like supplements or whatever. But and for sure, there are definitely some people that are like juicing there. But the hard work that like just behind the scenes that goes into it, and the mental strain that you put on yourself, and just being like, you would like, if we would go out to dinner or something, or like if we had people over and everybody was like, you know, drinking beers and like having tacos, like you were fucking like at that same party, but you were like, all right, I'm drinking my water and I'm eating my chicken breast and broccoli, you know? And it's like, that fucking sucked to like watch you have to go through that sometimes. So I was like, dude, I'm just really proud of you for like sticking through it and like just doing the damn thing. And you showed out, dude. Might not have taken first prize like on the stage, but I think like for all of the factors that were like, you know, first show, not like, you know, just going through this process, and just what you actually like went through in preparation to getting up on the stage and doing it and trying something new that brings you joy, like this passion, is just like fucking just really proud of you, dude.
Well, and that's the biggest thing that I want. Like, I hope that people...
Let's take a little sip. Sorry to cut you off. But yeah, let's go.
That's the biggest thing I hope people that were, you know, that have been following me on Instagram or like just people that have known me for a long time. Because I feel like that's the one thing that people saw like from knowing me in college or even like the end of my high school days. That's when I really started like training, but I had no idea what I was doing. I was just trying to like get big for sports and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then like I got into college and I started doing lifting, and I feel like a lot of people always knew that like I really liked the gym, but the problem was like when I was in college, I was an idiot. So I was posting a bunch of dumb stuff all the time. And it's just like, you know, like everybody thought I was kind of like you were saying before, like just like a total douche. And, like,
dude.
And like I was just like posting all this gym stuff to be a douche, which like maybe was kind of true. But like, but then the whole thing now was that like I wanted people to realize that like it wasn't like doing the show and everything was something. The gym has always been something that's just helped me mentally, and it's been a passion of mine. And when I did the show, I think that was maybe a moment that for like a lot of people it clicked, like, okay, Cole's not just like the gym douchebag anymore. Like he's not just posting stupid stuff anymore. Like he's doing this all for a purpose to get better. And then to have people like come out and support me, and people just like sending me messages on social media, like wishing me luck, or even after the show, just tell me how great I did. I think it kind of clicked for people that like, oh, this is something bigger than just like wanting to look good on social media. And that's kind of why I don't like to post like a ton of gym stuff anymore, because like I've realized like at the end of the day, for me, the gym is always something that it's important to help me get better. But like, I don't need, like, unless I'm adding value, like I'm sharing workouts that people can do or diet tips, but like there's so many resources out there. For me, it's like I just want this to be something that like helps me grow, and like I don't need to like throw that in people's face anymore. And a lot of that just comes from like going back to kind of your original point about the other people like that do bodybuilding. I think it's funny that like if you talk to the biggest guy in the gym, most of the time it's the nicest guy there. We're usually like quieter. The guys that train the hardest are usually quieter, and like I think you go to the gym originally and start doing something like that because you are dealing with like your own insecurities and things like that, and you're addressing them by doing the training. And once you kind of, you're at peace with that, it makes it a lot easier to like go into the gym and make it about you and not about like what other people are seeing. And I think that's probably one of the biggest strides I've made in the last like 2 or 3 years, is just realizing like, hey, I'm doing this for me, and that's it.
Yeah, dude, it's that internal drive.
Exactly.
It's that something intrinsic, like inside of you, that's like, all right, this is, I'm bettering myself. Like, if you do have the opportunity to put stuff out there and like help others, you know, if you're not like just pushing it on people, like you said, like I know sometimes it feels like I don't want to be like overly like overbearing, like you know.
Well, it's like this podcast too, and what you're doing right now, and I'm sure you're trying to figure out as you know think of episodes and think of things you want to bring to your audience. It's like, how do I add value on top of what's already out there? And the fitness, like the fitness social media scene and just the fitness scene in general is so oversaturated now that like I kind of got to the point where I realized, okay, am I really adding value by like posting a picture of myself flexing or with my shirt off? And like I can't really post a workout because like every single workout that has ever been invented is like
already there.
It's already there. Yeah. So for me, it was like, okay, like, why don't I just stay in my lane for a little bit and get focused on, like, that's why, like, my prep, like, I didn't have like a prep series on YouTube, or I wasn't like constantly I wanted to like post on my story so that really it was for the people that were backing me and supporting me. Like, I wanted them to know that, like, when I was at parties at your place, like, and eating chicken and rice, like, I was also doing the work on the other side of it in the gym, so that you guys didn't think I was just like being a buzzkill at the parties. Like, I wanted people to
Dude,
know
not at all.
that I was like working hard. And that was the biggest, I think that's what got in my head the most at the show, is like, I was building up all this pressure of like, I have so many people that I didn't want to let down. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there were so many people that were supporting me that whole way and cheering me on. And so I felt like if I went to this show and did really bad, I was like, for some reason I had built up in my head, like, oh, I'm going to like disappoint, you know,
dude,
like all my friends that are there and my family.
Oh, dude, we would love you either way, win or lose. Like, I guess it's not really, you don't really lose because you still win something. Like, you learn along the process, and that's what it's all about, right? Learning throughout the process. But dude, no matter what, like, we would still be there to support you. And I think, you know, there's a lot to be said for like what you just said about like wanting to show those that are supporting you and around you, that you care enough. Like, that's how much you care about them too, is like, you're sticking through this 16-week thing, you know, this course of 16 weeks of like putting yourself to the goddamn ultimate test. And like, you know, you're doing it for yourself, but also for those around you. And, I don't know, either way, dude, you came with a fucking awesome package. We loved it. We supported you. I'm glad that you are no longer having to limit your dietary, your diet as much as you were before. So finally we can go and have some brews and, you know, some chicken wings or something.
For sure. It feels good to be back.
Dude, hell yeah. Another thing I wanted to talk to you about, and we got to get into, a couple things. Let's wrap this up in a little bit. But first I wanted to ask you, cause you came swagged out in your Kraken gear. And you're a season ticket holder, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I went in with my parents and my brother. So we got a half season. I figured doing doing the full deal would be a lot. It's a big commitment. The hockey season's long, 82 games. So
82 games.
Yeah. So like, I didn't know if I wanted to have 40 things going on my calendar. I figured, 22 was perfect, especially split with my family. Cause you know, we got to go snowboarding and stuff,
dude,
this winter. So we can't have the entire winter booked out with hockey, but I'm super pumped.
Is for those of you that don't know, Seattle is bringing hockey. When does the season start? It's like September, or what? When does it start, or what?
It will start in October.
So the Seattle Kraken is coming to Seattle. The Kraken is the hockey team, starting in October. But they're doing like a bunch of selection what the fuck is the draft? I don't know. I don't know anything about hockey. So let's crash course on hockey. Tell the people what you know, because it's kind of funny to me, and I've told you this before, that you're hella into hockey growing up in like Ephrata, Washington. And I just don't. Yeah, okay, so let's do crash course, because I don't know anything. I'm going to do like some rapid fire questions, and you can answer these. It's also great if you don't know any of the answers. So like right now there's a draft, right? Or something. There's like.
So we're going to, so we'll the Kraken will get their team via expansion draft, which is when, for anyone that, most people probably don't know this, but if you're not a hockey fan, but Las Vegas was the last team that got an expansion team. So they do an expansion draft, which is where we're going to pick one player from every single NHL team.
What?
And they
steal them?
Yeah. So they've made a protected list. So there's players that are off limits, obviously, and those are going to be mainly like the star players. So, but we get one player from every team except for Vegas. And then we also get to participate in free agency and the regular draft. We have the second overall pick in the regular draft too. Cross my fingers for Matty Beniers. You guys will know about him in a few years.
Dude, put it out into ether.
Yeah.
That's what's the thing where you like project things on your, what is that? You know what I'm talking about?
Mock draft?
No. Not in hockey.
Oh.
Never mind. Whatever. Okay, so we got an expansion. We're going to be stealing players from other teams. Sorry, other teams. But that's essentially what it is, right? Let's call it what it is. We're just taking your players because we want a fucking team.
And the protection list came out today, which is, when are people going to be listening to this?
Tomorrow, Monday.
Okay. Yeah. The protection list officially came out. There's actually a ton of insane players that got left unprotected. The thing is though, that like this is just for everyone to know, there's a lot of like really big names that are on that list of unprotected players. However, Seattle will pick up the damages of their really expensive contracts. So a lot of them were strategically left unprotected, just knowing, and I've heard that our GM is pretty financially conservative. He's not going to want to pick up big contracts.
Somebody that's going to be fucking 30 mil. How much do hockey players get paid? Are they underpaid?
They're not underpaid for the viewership and revenue that they're generating, but it's not like they're getting paid like NBA or NFL players by any means.
Dude, not a lot of people are getting. That's insane, dude. Or like MLB, like these fools that are in like $200 million contracts, and you're like, bro, what is that? I mean, like, it's cool, like, good job, you know, but so we're gonna be picking up these players. How many people are on a roster, and then like how many people are actually on the ice? Is it just the ice, the rinks? So, what do you call it? What's the terms that you would prefer?
So I'm not. I can't remember what the max players for the roster are going to be, but there's basically 4 lines of forwards, which is 3. So there's 3 forwards, 2 defensemen, and 1 goalie on the ice. 3
forwards, 2 defensemen, and 1 goalie.
Yep.
So there's only 6 players on the ice on each team.
Yep. And then so we'll pick. We'll build 4. We're gonna have 4 forward lines, 3 lines of defensemen, and then we'll have like 3 goalies. But and then like hockey obviously utilizes a minor league system, kind of like baseball. So that's one thing I always tell people with hockey is like we're probably gonna draft, like we might draft Matty Beniers, and he's at Michigan now. I can't remember if he's a senior, but like a lot of the times players will get drafted and then they might go back and finish their last year of college. They might continue playing in the minors until they're in the juniors or minors until they're developed and ready to come up to the NHL. So it's a lot more prospect driven than like a sport. And I think that's why it's not as popular in the States as something like football. Cause like football, you're so connected to college football. So you know all these players usually before they get to the NFL, the big names. And then the NFL is just, you know, their marketing and everything is so great that everybody wants to watch the NFL.
But it's also like one of those things about like you grow up, there's leagues everywhere in the country for flag football, more towards flag football
accessible.
now. Like, yeah, exactly.
Hockey's not a very accessible sport.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up, so to go back to your original question, I grew up in Ephrata, and I had always wanted to get involved in hockey. Like I had gone to Wenatchee was like the closest rink, if anyone knows where Wenatchee, Washington is. And so I used to go to like Wenatchee Wild games growing up. Oh,
so that's where it sparked you? Yeah, you were just like...
Well, and I always like... The funny thing is hockey was like never ever on except like maybe the last couple Stanley Cup games, and I would always watch it, and I always just like, God, this sport's so sick. It's like the speed, the violence, like people can fight and you get a 5-minute timeout and then you come out and you can play again. Yeah. Just like the toughness that's involved in hockey, I always thought was so cool, but I didn't know like how I was going to get involved in it. And it like, because it required me to drive myself to practice, I only got to play for like 2 years in high school, and I was driving to I started playing on the club team in Moses Lake. They had like an outdoor rink, so we could only play in the winter when it got super cold.
Yeah,
but we practiced outside. It was super fun. I wish I could have played longer, but most of our games were in Wenatchee. We went to like a couple tournaments in Idaho and stuff, but like hockey was always something I wanted to get involved in. I just didn't know how. And so basically when I'd been wanting a team because there'd been rumors about like Seattle trying to get a hockey team for so long. And then like just to be a fan all these years. And I've kind of, one thing with hockey is you kind of end up just picking a team. So I've been a Bruins fan for a long time, just because they're an original 6 team and they've always been kind of like the bullies of the NHL. They're kind of soft now, which sucks.
What's the, so you said the original 6 team. So there was only 6 teams in like the US
and
originally?
Canada. The Maple Leafs were one of, so it's like the Maple Leafs, the Canadiens, the Red Wings, the Bruins, the Blackhawks, and I can't remember who the other one is. But yeah, and that's funny because like that's part of the season ticket package is you basically, you could either pick, they split up the 3 original six teams.
And so for like the first half of the season, second half of the season.
Well, it's not even the first half or the second half. It's just like your games are spaced out, and then like we're not going to the home opener, but we're going to the. We have the package, which I think just has 3 better original 6 teams.
Huh.
Yeah.
Damn, dude. So there's a lot. So how long is hockey? Hockey's been around for fucking ever,
Yeah.
right? Is it like not in the U.S. though? Like where did it originate? Do you know like where it started?
See, that's the problem. I'm not a big like history nut or anything like that in terms of the game of hockey. Mm-hmm. I mean, I really didn't start like fully paying attention to hockey until probably like when I got into high school. Mm-hmm. And it was again just because it was like now we can stream anything illegally on the internet. Like I can watch hockey games all the time, but like
you could, but we don't.
We don't. Yeah. But at the time, like when we all had cable television, it's like hockey was never on. So True. It was so hard to watch. I remember I used to like steal my aunt's Xfinity password so I could watch the Stanley Cup. Like I literally, it was so inaccessible. So that's the thing is like, I'm not a huge like history guy. I don't know all of those or what it dates back to or where it originated, but I'm sure we could find out pretty quick.
Let's see. Let me take a look here. History of where did hockey? So there are 6 players on each side, and then there's what's because the points total like it goes up right, like to what do you get? Isn't it like to 3 or something? Wait, or no? There's like 3 different rounds. There's like halves. Is there halves?
There's three periods.
3 periods.
20 minutes.
See? There you go. Okay,
and so then
an hour long ish.
Yeah, and
in between each one, how long is there?
It always feels like it's a whole nother period. So it
feels in between each period,
feels like it becomes like it feels like it becomes a 2-hour event minimum because there's 20 I think there's 20 minutes in between each period, which is funny because like when you're growing up and playing hockey, that's another difference between like hockey and playing soccer. Like, when you played soccer growing up, you would go and like you'd play the game and then you could just get off the field and the next team would play if you're at a tournament or something. In hockey, there's ice time because like it's so competitive to use the ice and it's so expensive for them to keep the rink cold. And so like we would go to a tournament and we'd play a game or we'd play like 1 period and then there was maybe like 5 minutes a break. And hockey, like for people that don't know, your players are taking shifts and you change lines while there's continuous line changing. So like there's a lot of stopping and starting in hockey for like puck drops. But the thing is like you're constantly going and you're all out sprinting. So like even the best player on the ice, like you wouldn't really want to go max over like 40 seconds on the ice.
Oh, damn.
And then you like
really?
Get off. Yeah, because like you're sprinting the whole time. And that was like a big shock for me when I started playing hockey. I thought it was kind of like football where it's like, we're going to get some rest between the plays. Yeah. Like, no, it's going. You're sprinting all out. And so that's why when you have a 5-minute break, like in youth hockey, it sucks. And dude. Also, if you guys go to Kraken games or you go to like a Silvertips game or just like anything that's not a youth hockey game, they Zamboni the ice in between Zamboni. The periods. And so like for a Zamboni, it's just the big like cart thing that puts another water layer on the ice so that it's fresh. Because as you're skating, you literally, it gets all these grooves, which can change the direction of the puck. So that's like another thing you deal with when like Riley Murphy and I play men's league and like they don't Zamboni the ice like in between periods. So like by the 3rd period, you'll like pass the puck to someone and it'll change directions.
Oh, dude, that makes it more fun, I think, no? It keeps you on your toes. You on your toes.
It doesn't make it more fun for people like me where I already suck at passing. So yeah, but that's like another thing that will just like, that's what I think is going to be cool about the Kraken coming is it like people like you where it's like, this seems like something that's going to be really cool. I don't know anything about it. Like people are going to learn about the game of hockey. And I feel like Seattle is such a great sports town already that like
fans will fucking it's going to get
wild.
I mean, even with just the merch sales, like I've seen everybody I see, like, you see Mariners jerseys, you see Seahawks jerseys, you see the Storm jerseys, like, but you just see like the Kraken, like we haven't even had a game. And there's everybody's got that shit on.
And
but it's a cool ass logo,
They haven't even made the jerseys.
Shout out Riley Murphy for the logos, dude.
Yeah, they were designed on Photoshop by him. That's what he's been doing. But they haven't released the final jerseys yet because like we obviously need players so that we can buy jerseys. the NHL is partnered with Adidas, so they haven't even released any of the good stuff yet. Like I bought this like Fanatic shirt that I'm wearing right now. It's like
it says fan on the
it was
back.
like $50. I'm like, bro, this is not a nice enough shirt for me to pay that much, but I still bought it.
Is it comfy?
Yeah. But it's still, like it's like you're saying, like that. I tell people all the time, the Kraken has made so much money and they haven't played a single game yet.
Dude, let's get it cracking. You cannot tell me that that's not going to be on a goddamn shirt. If that's not on a shirt, I'm calling it right now. I just patented this. Is this how you patent stuff? I don't know. But let's get it cracking. That's got to be a slogan somewhere. Like on stickers, bumper stickers. Dude, Seattle Kraken. Make that shit happen. Sorry, what were we just talking about? Yes, all the merch sales has been insane. I've seen all that. Everybody's got those on. What was I just saying? I was just saying something now. I don't know. But I'm excited. I'm excited to go to these games. I'm excited to go and see what it's all about. I've always heard that they're fucking awesome. Like, is it the Thunderbird? The T-Birds?
Yeah, so there's
the
T-Birds
that
are in Kent. And then, but they're like the Seattle Thunderbirds. And then, there's the Everett Silvertips.
Oh,
so that's like the rivalry over here.
Interesting. I didn't even know that.
So growing up in like Ephrata, I had gone to a couple Tri-City Americans games. So Wenatchee Wild is actually an amateur division. So those kids are a lot younger. It's like the league right before. It's like almost like super select high school, like
AAA,
kind of. Yeah, and then so the Tri-City Americans, the Spokane Chiefs. Those
are
the
hell did I not know? There's hella teams out here. What?
And that's what like is hilarious about people saying like there's so many people across the U.S. that are like, I can't believe Seattle got a team before. For example, like Quebec City has always wanted a hockey team, and they keep saying like, move Columbus there, or like move the Coyotes there, because no one cares about hockey in Phoenix, and which is kind of true. But it's also just like, it's funny because so many people think Washington doesn't have a hockey scene. Like they're like, why would you put a team in Seattle? It's like we have 4 WHL teams,
a lot of people.
And like some of the best players. Like Matt Barzell, he played for the Seattle Thunderbirds.
Dude.
Like Brendan Dillon. Like there's players that are going to like that come out of these teams in Washington and make like a huge impact in the NHL. And so it's just funny that like people in Minnesota and people in Canada think that Seattle's not going to have a crazy hockey following. It's like we already do. People love going to these T-Birds and Silvertips games, or like there are people out in Central Washington going to the Tri-City Americans.
Dude, is this is a question that I don't know how true this is. Is this true? Something about like squids, like if a player scores like a certain number of goals, you like throw shit on the ice. Squid.
Yeah. Well, and then there's that. So the hat trick.
Is that actually a thing?
Yeah, I can't remember what the exact.
And have you been there? Like
no, I've never been when they've done that. So fun fact, I've been to like a ton of like amateur games. I've only been to one like true NHL game. I think I've only been to one. I went and watched the New York Islanders in Brooklyn when they were playing in the Barclays Center. I watched them play Winnipeg when I went to go visit my brother in New York for Christmas. But other than that, like I haven't been to like very many NHL games.
Huh. I wonder, I mean, I don't know. That's just some shit that I've always heard. And I was like, how does that even work? Like, do they provide the squids for you? Do you have to pack in squids? Like, what's going on there? Also, hats. How do I get my hat back if I like throw my hat out there if somebody scores a hat trick? You know?
There's like they put them in these bins, and I can't remember if they just donate them or what's happening. But that's another thing. It's like that's where I've always been like, okay, I want to participate in the hat trick, but I'm not trying to lose
my damn hat.
I'm not trying to lose a hat
that I paid $73 for.
Which like that's the thing. Is like most of the time, hat tricks aren't like. It's not like a triple double in basketball, or it's not like things where like hat tricks aren't a thing that happen like really, really frequently all the time. So it's like, hopefully you won't be losing a bunch of hats. I mean, honestly, the Kraken are having that many hat tricks. It's not a bad thing, but hopefully they don't, because I don't want to lose. These hats are too expensive.
Yeah, those hats are nice. So just to circle back to this, and we can wrap this up. Oh, dude, we got to do a GDO playlist.
Yes.
So we could chat a little bit here as we wind down. But to bring it back to the origins of hockey, where did hockey originate? When you type that into the Goog, we got a... The National Hockey League was founded in Montreal, Canada. And the invention of hockey dates back to actually, it looks like 1876 in England. The modern game of hockey emerged in England in the mid-18th century and is largely attributed to the growth of public schools such as Eton, E-T-O-N, I don't know. First hockey association was formed in the UK in 1876 and drew up the first formal set of rules. Damn, that's 1876. That's pretty wild. That's a long time. Imagine like the gear that they had back then. How did you ice skate? Was it just like fucking like imagine that.
Well,
dude.
And ice skates for anyone that's ever gone like
fuck ice skating.
They hurt
hate it.
Regular ice skates hurt so badly as it is.
Just saying.
Like or 2 summers ago, I bought some like middle of the road ice skates just to play like men's league in, and they were like $700, and they still hurt. Like you, even if you buy the $1,000 skates, like I'm sure they're more comfortable, but at a certain point, like they're made to be super stiff. It's almost like buying ski boots. It's like they're made to be stiff because there's so much force going on them. But like I cannot imagine back in the day what they were wearing. Like if you look at the old pictures, they're wearing like leather boots with a knife on the bottom.
Dude, that's crazy to see the evolution of like just sports in general, but then like also the equipment that they use like is crazy.
These guys weren't playing with helmets on.
Dude, I know. That's why. Oh, yeah. And then you see those videos of people that get their fucking get skates to the neck, dude.
What people don't understand about hockey too
insane.
is that people don't understand how quickly a puck moves. And like in hockey, you're trained in your zone. Like if I'm in my defensive zone, you're trained to lay down in front of shots. And so I always tell people like that's something that, like psychologically, I just think there's something different about hockey players because like those pucks come at like in the big leagues, they're shooting like 90s, sometimes in the hundreds, and like they're laid out. Like people have gotten their feet just broken,
ribs cracked,
like bones broken, wrists broken, like just everything. And like that's why people don't have teeth. It's like their sticks are coming up and hitting them in the mouth, and
fucking
like
what?
You would think that if you watch college hockey, those guys wear cages, but like. In the NHL, it's always the visors.
Get that.
Yeah, and it's like you would think somebody would like want to put on a cage, but it's like they just don't. They'd rather get hit in the face with a stick or a puck. But I just think it's
a rite of passage.
Yeah,
huh? That's insane. Yeah, that's a different. There's a switch that's just something in the brain. It's different for those people that are just fucking. That's crazy. But okay, well, as we wrap this up, as you know from listening to the podcast, we do a GDO playlist of the week. What are we going to leave the people with? What have you been bumping in your headphones? What do you got going on in your day to day, or something like an album that you just listened to recently that is top of the rotation right now? What are you vibing with?
For sure. I have to. It's been kind of interesting because. For a lot of people that know me, like I used to be, well, and I still am, like I love EDM, and like I used to have like crazy, like super intense EDM, like Slander and stuff like that. As I've started working, I've kind of realized like sometimes I gotta like tone it back. Like I can't be listening to like heavy ass bass drops while I'm on my computer all the time. So the new one thing I'll say is
you
that
can.
It's just it's hard to like remain calm.
Dude, just chug a fucking Monster and listen to some Slander. Come on.
I'm really into these guys who are kind of coming up right now. I think they're from Norway, but they're called. Their name is Cream with a K, Kream, and the real thing. Like I know we're making a playlist here, so they have a lot of like just good one-off singles that they've been releasing, but they actually make these mixes on SoundCloud called Liquid Labs. They just did one where they like mashed up like Drake and MK and Gorgon City, like just really, really good house beats. And I find it always to just be a vibe.
Ooh, okay. And house beats.
Yeah, well, dude, especially like right now for
summertime,
everyone that lives here in Seattle, where we're getting this like crazy heat wave and people are like spending more time outside and just on the water and stuff, or maybe you're like day drinking at just a kickback. They have great mixes to turn on, which is like super recognizable music.
What's it called again?
Liquid Labs.
Liquid Labs
on SoundCloud.
On SoundCloud. Can you just get it? You could just Google.
Yeah.
Just Google Liquid Labs if you want to listen to this this mix that's by Cream, Kream.
Yeah.
Okay. And then because they also have some good singles that are coming out. Okay, so we're gonna put together some cream. Anything else, or are we just sticking on the house vibes? What do you think?
I've also been
Totally up to you.
Yeah,
Dude.
no,
Ball
I mean,
in your
I've
court.
also been really into
Tuck in your side of the ice.
the
What
new.
is that called?
There's a new Millennium album that just
Ooh, is it?
that Millennium, his Fallen Embers did that. I can't remember if it just came out, but he's been a lot more vibey. I used to not be the biggest Millennium guy because again, like I wanted that like heavy shit all the time, but he's definitely someone where I've just been like really vibing to his music lately because he has that like perfect balance of like, you know, it's listenable. Like you can go onto it and listen to it. You'll hear his songs on the radio, but then you'll like go listen to one of his live sets and he throws down hard. But yeah, his new album Fallen Embers has some good tracks on it. And then I feel like I wouldn't be doing myself justice if I didn't talk a little bit about some of that music you got to throw on at the gym.
Oh, all right.
There's like the new Migos album has some slappers. I kind of reserve a lot of my rap listening for the gym,
just working out.
Yeah, and but yeah, like the new Migos album is pretty good. I've just been kind of like, I don't know. I feel like there's so much good like throwback rap. Like it's not super throwback, but I love listening to like old school like I like listening to Schoolboy Q when he was like popping off, and ASAP Rocky in the gym. Roddy Ricch.
There's something about it's like a nostalgic
just
thing,
like
right? I was just thinking about it the other day when I was working out, and I was just like, dude, something about listening to the music that I was listening to like maybe 5 years ago or something when we were working out like a lot more. It's just like a nostalgia thing. You're like, dude, I remember listening to this and getting a fucking pump on. But that's also, I feel like it's us getting older and just being like, this is the music that I like listening to. This is what I'm just going to listen to this one. But the whole purpose of this GDO playlist is to provide people with different music, different genres, and different things that, because like this is the stuff that you listen to on the day in, day out, and like, you know, sparking people's curiosity. So we're going to have a little mix of the, some EDM, some house vibes on there, some millennium, maybe some rap, some hip hop. So a little bit of it all.
We might even have to drop a little. I've been really into. This might come as a surprise to you, but I've been really into like Bastille lately. I don't know if you listen to them, like the song Pompeii, and like Audien remixed that track a long time ago, which made him famous. But like I've been kind of diving more into their music. Just I don't know. I feel like there's something nowadays where things are so like electronically produced with all music to the point of like sometimes I just need to go back to people playing real instruments. But like when I try to listen to Slipknot, I'm like, bro,
that's intense. That is
these
intense.
guys are like, this is a lot of like real instruments. So it's nice to go back to bands where like, you know, their live performances are sweet too. Like I've been watching like more of those, and it's been making me miss concerts, but like they have like a ton of good tracks. So they just released a new song recently. Might have to drop one of those in the playlist too, just for your more like chill vibes, and they just make good music.
Okay, so we'll have a little bit of it all.
Diverse mix for you guys.
Diverse coming to you from the Diversity Club at the GDO Podcast Studios, dude. On that note, that's awesome. Let's wrap this up. We got the sun's coming out. We got to get out of here. We got things to do today.
Speaking of suns coming out, we got to end on who you got.
Who you got, dude? I was saying Suns in 5, which is hilarious. Now that freaking Giannis and the Bucks are making a comeback. I don't know, dude. I'm still sticking with the Suns. I'm still going to stick with the Suns.
I think they're going to find a way, but it's going to be
to get back in there.
Yeah. Tyler and I were talking about that. I think it's going to come down to the wire. Giannis is popping off. The Bucks are...
Is it Giannis?
Yeah.
Did I just call him Giannis?
I mean, I called him Giannis for so long.
Giannis.
I think Riley Murphy corrected me on that. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just, at least it's a good series. You know what I mean? Like, it's competitive. Unlike the Lakers and the Suns. Shout out Kim Magno.
I haven't kept up, like, actually been watching the games, but I'll just, like, watch the highlights. And, like, I should probably tune into the game. When's the next one?
I think that there was a game last night, so
yeah, there was one last night. But I think it might be Tuesday.
Oh, really?
I think it might be an extended... I don't know. Don't they do, like, extra days, like, the later they get into the series?
I think so.
Maybe. Maybe not.
Maybe.
But
Or I don't know.
I don't know. Either way, yeah, I still think the Suns are gonna somehow find a way to turn it around, bring it back. But also, if the Bucks win, like I don't know, I'm indifferent about like I don't feel too strongly about either team.
Yeah,
like, winning.
it's like I don't care.
It's awesome.
I kind of want. It's like I think
Good
it'd be cool for
entertainment.
Chris Paul to win. I think it'd be cool for Giannis to win.
Yeah.
I kind of think it'd be cooler for Giannis to win because like Giannis has been playing for the Bucks and like he lives in Milwaukee. Like let's throw him a bone. Like let this dude win a championship.
Yeah. And he's such a likable dude. Everything that he does, like all the videos you see of him, and like he's just a funny guy.
Yeah.
He's just a funny dude. So it would be cool to just see like this guy that's just an athletic, like freaking god, but also just like down to earth and not like too like into himself. I feel like take the dub and his whole team. But yeah, so I don't know. I think the Suns are gonna come. It's a tight one though. We'll see. We should get together for the last couple games or one
Super
of them at least.
down.
But yeah, all right. On that note, let's wrap this sucker up. Anything else you want to throw out there? Anything you want to throw out? What's your Instagram handle? If those of you that want to see the front double by
Cole
Jacobson.
double underscore
Is it Swole?
Jacobson. I still have my Swole Jacobson, my workout one, but
Yeah.
Cole underscore Jacobson.
Cole underscore Jacobson. Follow the boy. Watch his transformation. As you think you're gonna go back into another. I know you were saying you might not do another show, but
Not for a while, at least. I think like right now, I'm just gonna enjoy training and just appreciate life. I think I was getting to a point where I wasn't enjoying the working out anymore, and I want to be at that level for like 2 years of just being able to like live life again. And we have like too much cool stuff we're gonna do in the future.
You're right.
You know what I mean?
But okay, well, that's fine. Up to you, dude. I'm just saying. I'm excited for the next time that you go on stage because I know that's not gonna be the last time. I'm calling it right now. But cool. Thank you for coming on, dude. This was a lot of fun. You'll have to come on here again. Let's just finish this one.
Thanks
real quick.
for
let's take a little sip right here.
Thanks for having me on the show. And dude, I'm just super proud of you for doing this and then also sticking to it and continuing to release content and find cool people within your friend circle that want to come on and support you. So cheers to you, man.
Dude, yeah, thank you. Sip. Let's take a little sip, wrap this up, and stay tuned. Until next time, everybody. Peace.